and information as well is very valuable to the public and the community that have these buildings in their locations. So for those who don't know who I am, I'm just going to briefly uh, talk about who I am as a person and as a former employee of Amazon and what I'm doing now and currently fighting about and speaking about. I started with Amazon back in 2015, a regular warehouse associate, um, making $12 an hour. I worked hard for about 7 to 8 months, and I was promoted up to a tier 3 process assistant level, which is a supervisor level or assistant manager level for the outbound department. I opened up 3 major buildings in the tri-state area, starting here in New Jersey, Carteret, New Jersey, EWR9, transferred to Connecticut, Windsor, Connecticut, BDL2, and my last former building, Staten Island, JFK, New York. Um, Throughout these years, I noticed that Amazon didn't really care about not only its employees, but it didn't care about their communities. As you stated, um, you know, this company has already or should be deemed as a monopoly, and it's been monopolizing and capitalizing off the expense of human beings and expense of the working class and expense of our communities. And what I spoke about originally was speaking up for and advocating for was safety, health and safety concerns. I realized that it's a much deeper issue than just COVID-19. The issues that we have that we're dealing with is capitalism. That's the first pandemic that we've been dealing with. And the capitalism that ties into the systemic racism is the pandemic I'm talking about that started over 400 years ago. So my fight is everybody's fight. What was standing up for is our community. Ultimately, noticing that this company didn't care whether we brought this virus home to our families, didn't care if we brought this virus home to our communities, was very alarming at the fact that this company has billions and trillions of dollars of revenue off the expense of the working class. Who are that? That is us. That is myself. That is everybody here. First responders, frontliners, all essential workers. We all have the same fight right now. And COVID-19 exposed a lot about this country, a lot about this world, a lot about uh, the, the the civil rights and social injustice of this country, of the fact that we're lacking so many provisions and precautions and laws that protect not only the working class but the American people. And Amazon is capitalizing on the fact that it has all this money and it can go to any city, state of its choosing and set up shop and hire from our community, hire and fire, and continue to make Jeff Bezos the richest man in the world. And this is the reason why I believe we're having this call tonight, is to bring awareness and attention to what's going on. And my advice to everybody here and everybody listening at home is to put an end to this. We need to stop what's going on here. The monopoly that Amazon is becoming, it's already there, but we need to stop and put an end to capitalism in general, because who is not protected and who it affects the most is us. You know, as you know, I was fired for speaking out, and I wasn't the only one. After me, there were several others that were fired as well, and the company claims that we were fired for different reasons, which is showing how expendable we really are. The fact that I've been with the company for a number of years. I put in my blood, sweat, and tears every day, 10 hours a day, 10 plus hours a day, sometimes 60 hours a week, for the company to say, you know what, you're replaceable. Doesn't matter what position you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been with us, the tenure of your career, we're going to replace you. And that's exactly what they did. And but not in that sense, they awaken something that is something like a revolution. I chose to use my platform to uplift the voices of those that are unheard. We're talking about the people with the underlying health conditions, the people that had to stay home for the last 3 months without pay from the richest man in the world, the richest company in the world, Amazon. We're talking about people that are afraid to speak up because they don't want to lose their job, which is very understandable. To lose your job in the middle of a pandemic, this company didn't care about my livelihood, didn't care about how I was going to feed my children, didn't care about whether I was going to make my next month's rent. So this is the things that people need to understand that we're up against. We're up against a juggernaut. Some people like to say is David versus Goliath, but I'm not the only David. This was always about the people. I said that from the beginning. It was never about Chris Smalls, even though Amazon tried to make a smear campaign just to smear me. Um, it was never about me. It was always about what I'm fighting for and the people collectively. Uh, we're all David, and we're going up against Goliath. And as David, we all need to make sure that we're speaking about this. We continue this conversation in our communities. We make we let our peers know, our coworkers, our neighbors know how these type of companies affect our community as far as the living wage, the pay wage, um, and make sure that we demand better as working class people. We deserve better. $15 an hour sounds like it's fair, but it's not. You know, they give it and they take it, right? They gave us $15 an hour. Like I said, when I started it, I was only making 12, but now it's 15.50, I believe, is the minimum wage. They took away when they gave that incentive. They took away our stocks, so they took away the fact that anybody being hired with the company now becomes a shareholder. Instead, they offered a program where you have to buy into becoming a shareholder. So not only did they capitalize off the fact that they're saving millions of dollars by not allowing us to become shareholders anymore, we also have to put money into the company to become a shareholder now. So it sounds good and it looks good on paper, but in reality of the situation, I tell you firsthand that you don't survive off of 15.50 on minimum wage. You have to. I like to make a joke out of it, but it's not really a joke. You have to either be in a relationship or you have to have multiple jobs, which I did. And I even having multiple jobs and being married, uh, I still was only making ends meet by working for the richest company in the world. And to be honest with you, this is another fun fact and a shocker that most people may not know. I was literally probably one of the highest paid hourly associates for the entire company, for the entire Amazon network. JFK Staten Island is the highest paid fulfillment center in the entire Amazon network because of the cost of living of New York and the tri-state area. The employees there don't get paid 15.50. They start off at 17.50, and if you work overnight, you get paid 19.50. So, as a supervisor there, I was capped out at $25 an hour. When I transferred to that building, they capped me out, meaning I wasn't eligible for any raises, any promotions, as far as hourly wage. The next thing I had to do was become an hour manager, a salary manager, which would never happen because I was fired. But what I'm saying here is ultimately $25 an hour for working for the richest company in the world. Uh, just think about that. The simple fact that at $25 an hour, it sounds like you're making a decent pay wage, but in reality, once again, as I stated before, it wasn't cutting it, and it still doesn't cut it in the tri-state area, especially not New York and New Jersey, Manhattan. Um, if you lived or visited this area, you need at least six figures to live comfortably. So me bringing home what I was bringing home, it wasn't enough. And this is what I'm talking about as working class people. Not only do we need to fight for what's right, fight for our own protection, and fight for better wages, we demand that Jeff Bezos and all the other CEOs of major corporations do better by their employees, doing better by their employees will be doing better by the community and doing better by the American people and ultimately the entire world. They have buildings all over the world. 600,000 is this nationwide. There's over 1 million employees worldwide. So once again, my fight, speaking about COVID-19, was protecting the workforce, the 600,000 people that work for this company, and the 1 million employees that work worldwide. Um, I can't express how much my life has changed, but all I know is that I'm here to deliver a powerful message and continue this movement. And that's what I've been doing ever since March 31st. I've been all over the world, pretty much on Zoom. As you know, the world got a lot smaller on Zoom. So I've been all over the world in all these several different countries speaking about this matter. Continue to protest. I'm out here on the picket lines. I stood with the nurses, New York Nurse Association, NISNA of New York, on the picket lines with them because they have the same fight as we do. I've been with the MTA workers, the bus drivers, the train operators, the teachers, all the local unions in our community over here. And I continue to stand in solidarity with them. And I stand in solidarity with everybody here on this call. And I'm appreciative of what we're speaking about today. And I'm glad to be a part of it. And thank you for having me.